Hello, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to Watercolor Wednesday. It's a good day to watercolor, you guys. I'm so happy to have you on with me. And I see all your comments. Thank you so much for saying hi and telling me what your weather is out the window. You know how much I love that. Okay, let me just scroll up and so I can say hi to all my friends out here. Kathy, it's good afternoon to Kathy is on the East Coast. So yes, good afternoon to you, Kathy. And Terry, hello, also on the East Coast. She says, hello, Bonnie and entire AI family. Heat wave in New York. Heat wave in New York is 32 degrees, you guys. Wow, that's Berghold. Wow. Terry says, Frog is so cute. Okay, so you guys, if you were on with me last week, when we released the new Keepsake sets. So we released a new baby set and a new spring one, and they each come with 3 little characters, and I'll show it to you when we flip the camera around. But the spring one has a little frog, and I said the frog was my favorite out of all the little characters that I did in these 2 sets. And then I thought, why didn't I do the frog in the project last week? And so I'm doing it today because I just got to show you guys how to color this little frog, and we're going to put him on a lily pad. And so we're going to do a little freehand drawing, you guys. It's just an oval. So I'm going to show you how to do a lily pad that you can put your little frog on. So it's going to be a really fun tutorial. You guys are going to I think you'll love it as much as I do. And this little frog is so cute. And keep that in mind for any little frogs that you have. If you want to just put it on a little lily pad, it's a super easy way to sort of complete your project. You don't necessarily have to have it in the water or just sitting, on the ground. You could make it a little interesting by putting it on something like that, putting some water around it. So it's going to be cute. You guys, I hope you love it as much as I did making it. So let's see who else is on. Patricia, hello. She says, good afternoon, morning. Bonnie and AI peeps, a little warmer today in Maryland, 33 degrees. I just got my spring Keepsake set this week. So excited to see today's frog. Yes, it's in the spring one. So there's a little frog. Let's see what else was in here. A frog, a bunny, and a little duck. So it'll be so cute for Easter too, you guys. It's going to be really cute. You're going to just love it. And these little characters are so versatile for other things. And then, of course, these sets all come with dies to cut them out. So win-win. Ellen, hello from Netherlands. Hello, Ellen. She says, good evening. Good evening in the Netherlands. So I'm scared to ask what that means. How late is that? And is it past my bedtime? My bedtime's about 7:30, you guys. So it probably is. So Ellen, thanks for hanging out with us. Diana, hello. Happy Watercolor Wednesday to you too. Janice from Lake Elsinore on the West Coast with us. Sherry, hello. Joy, hello, also on the West Coast. Let's see. Rita, stamps are really cute. Thank you. You are welcome. Thank you for that compliment. Renee from Cabo San Lucas, welcome. Good to have you. Andrea from northeastern Illinois, really cold. Yeah, you guys on the East Coast just get one bomb after another with this weather. I bet you are all just dying for spring, And we are too. Although it's sunny out today, we have not had the weather that you've had. Our eastern neighbors. We've had some, rain and, colder weather, but nothing like that. But we're still ready for spring. Still. Diane Mason is on. Hello, Diane. Linda from Chico, welcome. Kelly here from warmer Minnesota. She says, absolutely love this frog. A lot of people collect frogs, you guys. Thank you for all the cute little things you create for us. You're so talented. Thank you so much for that. I love it. It's such a privilege for me, and I absolutely love doing it. And then I love showing it to you guys. So that's a win-win for me. Sherry says, love the frog. Lori, hello. Snowy Southern Ohio. Oh my goodness. Has the snow even melted there, you guys? It just feels like it started snowing in like November, and it's been snow on the ground ever since. Let's see. Brenda, hello from northern Minnesota. It appears our sub-zero weather is coming to an end. Oh, praise God for you guys. 36 degrees tomorrow. I won't complain anymore about our weather. Hello. Welcome. Sandy from Central Florida. Chilly though, she says, in Central Florida. Carol, hello to you, my friend Carol. Jen, hello. Ribbit. Good morning from an even warmer Minnesota. Welcome, Jen. And Sandy, hello. Simone, hello. Welcome. Deborah from Southwest Missouri. This is so cool, you guys. I just never get over this, where you all are from all different parts of the country and the world, really. I'm just in awe every time I read your name and where you're from. Missouri, sunny, snow on the ground, and 32. Wow, sounds like it's going to be there for a little bit longer. Cherie, hello. Been getting ready. Okay, Cherie says, been getting ready for a big move back to Michigan this weekend. I'll be in Oregon in March until sometime after April. Missing painting. Cherie, we're going to miss you, but I think Cherie's family are all in Minnesota. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. Or not Minnesota, but Michigan. And I think that's where she's from. So we're really happy for you heading back there. And you know what? When you get all settled, get back on with us and get back to painting. Cherie is an extremely talented artist. So we all love seeing her work. Ruth Ann is in the house. Hello, Ruth Ann. Good to have you on. Peggy, hello, from Oregon with her Mountain Dew. She's starting early, 10 o'clock. Peggy's got her Mountain Dew. Great. Jeanette, hello. Still cold and more snow coming. Oh, my goodness. Wow. Anima, hello from South Florida. Good to have you. Kathy from sunny and warm California. Pam, let's see. Good morning to you. Barbara, hello. Veronica, watching from Belgium. So cool. Elaine, hello Elaine from Albany. Elaine is just down the road from us. Let's see. Jenny, good morning. Netherlands. Okay, so her name, it says Pet Pan. Good to have you on. We're so happy that you're here. Welcome. Good to have you on. Ruth, hello. Ruth says, will the new freebie stamps, yes, they are coming. They are on the way, you guys, and they are so cute, I gotta say. Are they here? Yes. Okay, so they are here. I've heard a voice back in the background has said they are here. So if they are here, when will they be available, or do we know? Soon? Okay, I'm hearing soon. Very soon. So they are here and in-house, so very, very soon. Okay, good question on that. Let's see. Barb, hello from Eau Claire, Wisconsin. Good to have you. Yes, Ruth Ann says, beautiful February morning. Love the project today. Let's see. Okay, Elaine says Facebook wasn't cooperating, so she switched to YouTube. So you guys, we are on YouTube at the same time. So if you're on Facebook and you are having trouble seeing the tutorial, sometimes it can be really quirky and sketchy. And if you are and you're having problems, just head on over to YouTube and watch us over there. Let's see. Sherry says, rainy Tennessee in Overton County. Now we have water issues. Oh my goodness, cannot use water. Oh, Sherry. Oh my goodness. Carol, hello from Northwest Missouri. Welcome to you. Okay, Sharon, North Florida. I've got to get closer and closer, you guys. And I have my glasses on. Let's see, Sharon. Okay, Sandy Hendricks from Brookings. Hello. She's also in our backyard. Good to have you. Hello from Kansas. Cindy. Let's see, Terry, any hints? No hints, Terry, but I will tell you when they are released whose idea it was, because this was not my idea. This was a great idea, and I immediately loved it and immediately did it. And I think I did them all in one day. So that just tells you how much I love this idea. So I will tell you when they're released who it was that had this brilliant idea. So, and she knows who she is. So I will be sharing that for sure. And if I don't, remind me. Okay, so Mary Ann from Illinois, welcome. Let's see. Janice says, can't wait for June. Yes, Janice, June for so many reasons. And also because the retreat is in June. So our Bible journaling retreat is June, got to look again, 12th and 13th, Friday and Saturday in Oregon. So if you are interested in that, we've got a couple of spots left. you can go to our website and just sign right up and come to the retreat and hang out with us. Okay, let's see. Denise from Shippensburg, Pennsylvania. Welcome. We're so happy to have you. Kristen, she says, better consistency with YouTube. Yes, people are saying that. Sometimes, Facebook can just be a little troublesome. So if that's the case, you have another place where you can go and watch. Okay, you guys, we are going to switch over. And I will keep my eyeballs open for questions. If you guys have any questions, I believe Leah is probably on, Joel is probably on, so they can answer questions. And I will try to be watching my screen also. So let's switch over and we'll get to our project. So here is that little frog, and this is the set that it comes in. So let me just move this aside just for a minute, and I'll show you. This was the bundle that we released last week on Watercolor Wednesday. So let me just zoom out a little bit. It's awfully close. So this new set of dies, these little rectangle scallops, two new watercolor paper packs. So a cover pack and Valentine's for Valentine's. This is series 2 Valentine's. And these are the absolute cutest. So these are double-sided, these here. And you can see the back side. So front, back, front, back, front, back. And that's kind of how they line up. And this one, look at these beauties in here. I just absolutely love. We have a new paper pack. I just love it. It's just so fun. It's fun to put all the papers together, and then it's really fun to see them in the package. It's just my favorite thing. So these 3 things came in the bundle, as well as 2 new sets. So there was a new baby set, this one, and here are the 3 characters that come in here. And then this is the spring one, and it has these 3 that come in this one. And these all come with dies. So the dies cut them out so you can use them, just anywhere with watercolor or with, a little watercolor project. You can pop them out. In fact, let me just show you. These were the samples from last week, and you can see how they work. And they're like little vignettes, and they just kind of layer on top of each other, and you've got a little scene kind of in a little frame. And this was the baby one right here, so cute. And this was the spring one, and this is the one that I opted to use, and I said I should have used that little frog. It would have been so cute. So we're doing him today because I just, I can't let it go. I gotta show you guys how to do this frog, and then, like I said, I want to show you how to make a little lily pad for him to sit on because it's so cute. So these 5 things came in that, and I believe Joel, I think I checked with Joel before. Are these 2 still on sale? Did you look? These are still on sale. So we put these on sale because that little baby pack came out. This little baby set came out. So we put the little boy and girl paper packs on sale. So they are still on sale. This is the little boy one that I used on this one here. So you can see the green dot is in here, the stripe, and the little stars are in this paper pack. And how cute are these? The little boy and girl ones. So these are also on sale on the website. And then the 5-piece bundle is also available on the website. And you can see that as soon as you get to the website, artimpressions.com. So we're going to do this little frog because we got to do the little frog. We only need 1 other stamp, and it's in this set. So this is flower set 6. And I just grabbed one of these. It doesn't matter what flower. Whatever flower you have, you can use behind here because it's just to add a little bit of extra color and a little background to your little frog. Otherwise, we've got a lot of green color on here, and so we just need to kind of jazz it up with a little bit of color. And I just opted for purple, but you can also do whichever one that you want to do. Okay, so let's see. What else? Okay, what else was I going to tell you about that? So we just need these. You're going to need a pencil because we're going to do a little pencil drawing. So here's my pre-stamped little frog, and I just inked him with the green. So normally we use 2 colors, but in this case, he's just really green. He is a green frog, and he's green. So I just inked him in the 177 and then stamped him off and then stamped it onto my canvas. So let's zoom in now, so we can get to this little project. And then you can freehand, an oval. You don't need a die. But if you do need a die, Just grab one or just get a little template. So in other words, just make a, make a little oval or trace something that's an oval. That's what I do. I just grab things that are on my desk and just use those. I just find things that are kind of the shape that I need. That tells you about my desk, you guys. And so I found this little die. I'm not even sure where it came from, but it works, and it doesn't have to be this size. So what is the size? Let's just look at here, and I've got a little grid here. So it's about probably 1 3/4 inch is this little oval die. But again, it doesn't have to be that size, and it's probably about 1 inch wide, something like that. So just a small little oval like this is what you need, but you can also just cut it out. Just cut it out and just trace around it. So so I stamped my little frog on here, and let's just see if we can just leave this in the screen here. So we're going to take this little oval, and we're only going to pencil it about halfway up. And so you can either pencil the outside or the inside of the die. So I'm just going to grab my pencil, and where did I put that? Here it is. Make sure it's sharp. Make sure you have a sharp pencil and a very light line. So we're just going to go about halfway up and just draw it around so that it's about halfway. So it should look just a little bit like this. And really you just need, to be able to see where it's at. And then finish it and just go behind here and just finish the line. And don't stress about this. Don't stress about that. Just kind of finish the line, put a little arc on it. You can always erase it, so make sure you have a good eraser on your pencil. And this is basically the shape of your lily pad, okay? And then you're going to make two C shapes, a backward C and a forward C. And we're just going to start up about here. And you're just going to make a C like this and like this. Just like that. It doesn't even matter where you put it. You can put it here right in the middle if you want to, but just two C's like this, and just connect them at the top, and then erase this line right here. And you guys, you have a lily pad, just like that. And if you want to make it look like it's, kind of standing up a little bit, so it's got a bow on the top, we're going to add a little shadow behind. Remember when we do snowy roofs and we put a bank on it? That's how we kind of build things up. So we're going to do that on this little lily pad so that it doesn't look so flat. So we're always trying to make things look three-dimensional. And then we're going to add, a few little lines, and depending on how big the arc is on your line, that will kind of build up your little lily pad too. And we'll come back in here with some ink as well. You could also do just a little tiny indent like this to kind of give it a little more character. And that's it. That's all you have to do. Okay? So let's start adding some color on here. And I'm going to get my brush, move everything out of the way so that I can see what I'm doing here. And I'm going to have to move this over just so we can see the palette here. And I'm going to get my brush wet. So you guys know, dip that brush all the way to the bottom of your water. And, don't fill your water dish clear to the brim, because you're going to get too much of your brush wet. So I have about, I don't have any more than a 1/2 inch ever in here. A 1/2 inch is good. And if you get too much of your brush wet, you have to just really, get that water off before you start your project, because you can't have your brush too wet. And then once you get all the air bubbles out of it, tap it off, get all that water off. And then just take your thumb and just take it all off till it's flat, like this. Just take it off till it's flat. And then from now on, you're dipping only the very tip, just very tip in the water. Never to the metal, ever to the metal. And only the very, very tip at the very bottom of your brush. And then pinch it off every time. Okay? So now that I've got that done, so we're going to start out by just pulling the color out of the lines. And you can just start wherever you want to. And remember, we're not coloring on the line. So you don't want to just trace your line with your brush. You don't want to do that. And I always start where it's the darkest. And it's okay to cover over these little spots. We're going to put them back in. So don't worry about that. They're green and they're just going to add a little color, and you're still going to be able to see where they are, but we're going to just color right over them. And remember, the face is a contour, and so is his little belly. So we want to keep this area light and this area. And when you're doing a little character like this, it's always a good rule to leave the little belly lighter for so many reasons. It doesn't run the color, too much the same, and it will give you this contour, because remember, darker on the edges and lighter in the middle. So when you leave this little belly light, and if I can, I do. I always do. I always leave the belly light. And it just, like I said, for so many reasons, it sort of rounds your little character so he doesn't look flat. And it's hard to do that if he's all the same color. It's really hard to do that. You have to sort of change up the color. You still have to keep the center, the lightest part. And that's what gives you this little rounded shape. So he's got a little rounded head and he's got a little rounded belly. And so always keep those things in mind when you're coloring. It doesn't matter what you're coloring, but always keep those little things in mind. So we're gonna make sure that we keep this area very light. And I can just color over his little nose too. I can do that too, because I can always put those little dots back in. And then we'll start down here, and his little arms, they're also contours. So we're gonna just pull that color from the darkest part, which is the side. And we're just gonna try to leave that just a little bit lighter here. Same back here. Same back here. Anywhere that you think something has a contour, something that is a little round. And see his little shoulders kind of come over like this. And you can drag a little bit of this color out to the other side and pull it out here, but try to keep this area in here the lightest part. The lightest part of his little belly. And you can see it already. You can see it already. What's happening is because these areas are darker and this area is coming to the front. And this is what changes your finished project, when you're coloring something, from looking like a coloring book. This is the thing that makes the most difference whether you're using Copics or whether you're using colored pencils or watercolor markers and a brush. This is the game changer. Is these little things that just change it to a three-dimensional image. You can see I'm just, taking a little bit of color and just kind of dragging it over to the center so it's just kind of fades out, because we don't want harsh lines here. But you can see how he's starting to take shape. Diana says, okay, she's saying, what color did I use to color him? So this green, the 177, just because it's the warmer green. But it doesn't, you can use the other one too. You can totally use the other one. Let's see. Sorry, my computer closed. Oh, unexpectedly. Glad you're back on, Brenda. We missed you. We can't continue unless you're on here with us. So glad you're on. Good morning from the Netherlands, Peter and Wendy. Welcome. Good to have you on. Barbara, hello. Great to have you guys on. Great to have you on. Okay, so let's keep going. Once we've got our first layer on here, and we've got our color, and we sort of have our shape down. Now we can add more color to it, so we can make it a little bit darker. So let's just add a little more of this color. And you can also mix, so you can add a little bit of yellow to this if you want to, and make it even warmer. You can make it cooler, and you can add different colors into your green to, mix it up so he doesn't look as uniform. And then in here, you can see his little arm down here. This one's kind of in the background. So again, we're just kind of coming in like this, and we're leaving his this little belly area. We're just leaving that a little bit darker or a little bit lighter. And just take your time. It's so much fun, you guys. It really is fun to color these little things, and especially when they turn out and you're happy with them. It's just the best feeling when it works. This little leg back here. And then let's get a little more color on his face. So we're just going to add again where it's the darkest, that's where the color starts. So if it's lightest here, it's darkest on the edges. And just, apply that color. It's the same way. We do this the same way all the time. Think about if it were a little container. You're going to apply that color to the side, and then you're going to pinch your brush off and you're going to drag it over. And you're just going to let it kind of fade out. Just like this. And you can make his, this little area over his eyes, you can make that a little bit darker. And where his little cheeks are, you can make that darker. That will kind of make them pop out a little bit. Okay, it's looking cute. This is one of those all occasion little things that you could do too. You could just send this to somebody and you would just make them smile. I mean, it doesn't have to be for, a little kid. If I got this in the mail, I would just be so happy with that. I think that was so cute. Okay, so we really, I would say now to leave it as is, because we really, as I keep adding more color, I would say leave it as is, because it's better to leave it lighter than to overdo it. And it's so important to, leave these areas light where his little face is. And you can see how rounded his face is now. Okay, so let's go on to the next step, and that is we want to darken his eyes because we don't want those eyes to get lost. And you could use black. I just use my brown twin tone. This is usually my go-to when it's, things like this. Don't lose the little highlight, and if you do, just put it back in. That's really, really important, is to have that little highlight. And if you lose it, just take your white paint and just put it back in. See how that just pops him out? And you can add a little bit to the side of his mouth, but I would say use your pencil if you want to darken the mouth. It's so easy to get it too dark. And I think that's good. And then you can just use your pencil and just, draw in these little areas. You don't want to overpower him and make him too dark. And we still want to make him look like he's natural. So I'm going to take my little gray twin tone, and I'm just going to add some of these little circles back in, this little texture in his face. Some of you can still see, even though we colored over them, you can still see them, and that's great. But if you've lost them, just put them back in. His little texture in his body. Okay, all right, so let's go on to the next step, and actually let's put in the sky. And I just went with the warm color. So this is the 555. This is a very warm blue, and you can see how warm it is. But it's so cute for anything that's kind of tropical, with him on his little lily pad, and you just get that impression that it's just really warm. So we're gonna water this down with a brush. And we're just going to brush in a little bit of sky back here behind him. Just a little bit. And just kind of push it around. Don't overdo it. And we'll just put a little bit over here as well. And if it's, looks too dark, just keep pinching your brush off. and it'll just get lighter and lighter. And that's good enough, just like that. Just a little hint of sky. Jen, you are added. She says, add my name to the drawing. You are 100% added. You guys be sure to put that in here if you want to win this little frog. Okay, so now let's go to the lily pad, and we want to add the water in too. So let's do the lily pad first, and we're going to add some bright green to it just because we don't want it to be the same color as the frog. So we're going to really brighten it up with this green, and this is number 195, and it's bright. It's so bright, but it's so cute. Okay, so you can also mix it a little bit with this one, but start out with it pretty light so that you can kind of see what color it is. And then you can always add a little bit of color in it. And again, keep in mind, these areas where it would be a little bit lighter. If you want it to kind of angle down a little bit, you're going to, again, keep that top part of just a little bit lighter on the very top. And we'll just bring that around just like that. Cute. And then let's take a little bit of this darker green, and we're just going to kind of mix it together, and we're going to just put a little bank on here. You can see how that just builds up that little lily pad, just like that. And then let's just add a little more color, maybe back here where it might be just a little bit darker. Okay, isn't that cute? Now you can leave those pencil lines on, or you can erase them if you want to. So I'm going to take my really bright twin tone now, and I'm going to just add a couple of these little lines in, just like this. Just a few little texture lines, just like that. And then you can just kind of come in here and just darken kind of where it is, around the edge. Anybody have any let's see. Mary Ann says, late to the party, appointment with my thoracic surgeon today, and results are benign. Oh, we're so happy for you, Mary Ann. That is such good news. Great to hear. Okay, Pamela says, what color green is that? It is really bright. It's this one, 195. 195. And I just put it next to my other green. And you know what? Let's just do this. So this is 195. And this is 177. Wait on that. This is 177. This is 177. And this is 555. 555. So you can see what colors we're using. Okay, so now let's get the water. So we want to use this water. This is a little bright for the water. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just test it a little bit on the back side. So I'm just going to mix a little bit of this blue with the green. And then we're just going to text. Now that looks pretty good to me. Could have just a little bit more green. I think that's perfect. And just test it on there before you actually put it onto your canvas. So this is a pretty good color here, and we're just gonna put it on. Start back here, and just put it on really loosely. Don't overthink these things, you guys. If that could be my advice for you today, don't overthink. Where you're brushing this color on. Just let it be on there. And then we're going to add just a little bit more of this green into the background. Just like that. And you could also just put a little shadow, just right over here where that little lily pad is sitting. Okay, so now let's put our florals in as soon as that's dry. And we're going to come in here, and you see the little water lines? We're going to do that with the white paint. So this is good like this. Just, it's done. It's done. Don't worry about the water. Don't try to make it fit in a square. Just put a few brushes, practice it then. If you're not sure how to put it on, just practice it. Make sure you have enough water on your brush. That's huge. If you don't have enough water, you can't spread water. You just can't spread it. You have to have enough on here so that you can let this water just kind of be where it's going to go. So just like that. Just make sure you have, and just practice it a little bit. Okay, so now let's get our florals in. So we're going to use just a little piece of Post-it tape just to kind of protect this little frog so that we're not stamping directly onto him. And then I'm going to grab my little floral and my purple. 636 is the purple. And we're going to do two colors. So the little blooms are the purple. And then we'll just, whatever green you want. And we don't need the whole thing. So we're just going to get just kind of the leafy part here on the very, kind of on the very top, and just stamp it, a couple of times. Just, maybe once and twice. And it's just going to kind of be behind this little frog. And then we'll do another one over here. And we'll just maybe just stamp this one time. And we'll just do this one, maybe right here. And then we can just take this off. And then just take your brush and just kind of, add a little water to these leaves. Just let them kind of just fade out into your little project. And then just a little bit of water on your blooms. Just a little bit. Just make sure you leave some space, some white space on here. Okay, so let's see what else we need. We're going to add the white paint to it now because it's Valentine's Day. If you want to, you could make this Valentine's just by adding something red to it. Let's see, let's just do that, you guys. Let's just do it. So I've got my pencil. And let's just do a little heart. Let's just do a little heart right here. And we'll just put a little bit of red onto here. And we'll just make a little red. And remember this too, this is a contour, and it also has a little bit of a highlight at the top. So kind of right here would be that highlight, just kind of right there in the corner. And just make a little red balloon right here. Just be so cute. And we'll just let that dry for a minute while we're getting our white paint. And let's see. Should put just a little bit more color on that. So let me just try that off. And let's just add a little more red. Just to the bottom. Okay, that looks perfect. All right, so now let's do the water. Let's do the lines in the water, and actually we can just take, and we'll just have that little balloon floating over the top, just like that. So let's get the white paint now. Let me move this one aside. So cute, he's wonderful. Thank you, Robin. I'm glad you guys like this red bow tie, Sherry. That would be so cute. Can we still do it on here? We can. Let's just do it. That's a great idea. Let's just put a red bow tie on him. So a bow tie, you guys, is just literally two triangles. So it's a little centerpiece, and I'll show you. Just draw a little square and then just do two triangles, or you can just freehand it. So it's just, this is all it is. And then you can change up these designs to be, for so many other occasions. cute. Okay. That's so cute. That was such a good idea. Great idea. Okay, so let's make sure you you get your paint a little watered down so that you can really spread this color. So I got my brush pretty wet, so I want this fairly thin so I can make these little water lines. And I'm using my small brush. And then again, don't stress out about this either. And you're just going to kind of make these little lines that sort of mirror the lily pad. Just like that. You could put a little highlight on here too. That would look like it's just maybe got a little water on it. Like so. You could add just a little highlight to this guy. Just, you know, on the round, just on the edges. And then let's just put a little heart on our balloon. See if I can get some little dots on here. Some little tiny dots on his bow tie. Okay, you guys, well, we just, you know, we did a lot of freestyle here. So I'm going to take my red and I'm just going to make a really dark line under here. And, you know, you could just freehand it, or you could take a die and trace around it, or you could take, you know, something that you have that's a heart and trace around it. That's what I do. Trace around all kinds of things. Okay, you guys, let me zoom in so that you can take a good look, and then be sure that you sign your work when you do something like this. Even if it's a simple little character, always sign, because that means it's one of a kind. Got to get used to 2026. Okay, so be sure to put in the comments if you would like to win this little guy. Robin says, I would like to try a mirror image of him making a little gal for his Valentine. Oh, how cute. You could. You totally could. Watching your creative process. Suska, thank you. You are so welcome, you guys. You're so welcome. This was a really fun one. So here again, if you're just joining us late, these are the sets that we released last week. So these are the two sets right here. This is the one that has the little frog in it. And the tutorial last week was with the bunny. So we actually made these little pieces that are in this set. And then this one, this is the sample for the little baby card, which could be just so many other things too than a baby card. So they all come with containers that could be swapped out. They come with 3 little characters. And one of them obviously was this little frog. It also came, so the bundle came with those 2 new sets, 2 new Valentine's paper packs, so a cover pack and a Valentine's paper pack, and the scallop rectangle. So all 5 of these came in that bundle. And I've got one more announcement, so I'm going to switch back so I can make a big announcement for you guys. Tomorrow starts our quarterback sale. So we do this every year. We have a quarterback sale, which is 25% off. And this year it's 25 plus 10. So it's a win, 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 win. It starts tomorrow. You'll see all the details in the newsletter when it comes out. If you don't get our newsletter, be sure to sign up for the newsletter. You'll also see details on our website. So artimpressions.com will have details for you tomorrow. And it's a great sale. It's a great sale. So it starts tomorrow, quarterback sale, 25 plus 10% off. And did I miss?
4 a.m. newsletter.
4 a.m. the newsletter comes out, 4 a.m. Pacific time, right?
35% off.
So total 35. Yep, 25 plus 10. So you guys, don't miss that great sale. And I will see you guys all next week. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. We'll be checking that. And be sure to say if you would like to win this little frog. So thanks everyone for joining me today. I always have the best time with you. See you next week for Watercolor Wednesday. Oh, throwback. Is throwback next week? It is. See you Tuesday for throwback next week. You guys are going to love these. You're going to love this one. Do I say that every time?